Good evening. My name is Promise Lee. I'm the pastor here at Relevant Word Ministries. We want to thank everybody for coming today. Thank you so much for making the sacrifice in the weather. We want to just acknowledge our sponsors real quick. You have the program. If you don't have a program, just raise your hand. And we've been training some people to be church ushers, so just raise your hand and they'll get it to you. Okay, I guess everybody's got one. And so obviously Relevant Word Ministries, the NAACP, Jody Allen Consulting, Citizens Project, the ND, and Colorado College. So can we give them a round of applause? And allow me just to take a moment and set the stage tonight. We want to be timely, we want to get you in and get you out as promised. Again, we want to thank everybody in attendance today, both the panel and those in the audience. Your presence here tonight is an ongoing expression of your passion and commitment to obtain justice in our community. I became involved in this, as I do with many other tragic situations, by being called. I was actually in New York at the time, and I got a call that evening by a family member and people in the community and was asked to help. So I got the next plane out, the next available plane out that morning, flew back to assist with this traumatic situation. This tragedy of Devon Bailey has traumatized the community, and the community has been severely torn, but not torn apart. The death of Devon Bailey has united people not only in this city, but across the globe. You can look on Facebook or put it in the internet, and people all over the country, all across the globe, are watching to see what will happen from here on out. I suggest we take this opportunity to allow our gifts and humility to be the launching pad towards obtaining justice. Please, to everybody, hear the questions that are being asked, and the purpose here today is to try to begin the process of coming up with solutions that will heal our community, bring our community together, ensure that we have transparency with our government officials as well as law enforcement and accountability. I also want to just make mention here, if you haven't noticed, that this is a sacred place. It's a house of worship, and we're not going to tolerate any disrespect. I'm not going to tolerate any disrespect in this house. Can you clap for that? So let that be the beginning of how we move forward tonight. The last thing I want to say is that the panelists have also sacrificed to be here. Some of us are angry, some of us are hurt, some of us are angry and hurt. But again, this is a sacred place. We're not dependent or relying on government officials or the police chief to solve this community problem. This is going to be a dialogue, a conversation with some thoughts and ideas, and the impetus is really on us, the community. I believe that the answer lies within us, and so we have to be the ones to do this. I'm going to now allow the panelists to introduce themselves, and after that we're going to have a presentation from the Colorado College students. So let me just start with Dr. Rojo. Would you introduce yourself and just take each of you just take no more than a minute to say why you're here, how you came to this space.
Hello everybody, my name is Florencia Rojo. I'm a professor at Colorado College in sociology, assistant professor of sociology. I'm really new to this community. I just started teaching this year, so it's a true honor to be here on this panel. And I'm mostly here because of my students who have been working really hard on a project that they'll be talking about a little bit today on police accountability that I supervised for my community-based research course last semester. And I also just want to say that although I'm new to this community, this issue is not new to me. This is something that I care very deeply about, and I have cared about for many years, but in particular since my next door neighbor was killed by police in 2015. So I know firsthand the emotional impact and the physical health impact of this on our communities, and I'm really excited to be part of this conversation today. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Reverend Dr. Stephany Rose Spaulding, Professor and Chair of Women's and Ethnic Studies at the University of Colorado in Colorado Springs, pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church, and also candidate for U.S. Senate here in Colorado. And similarly to Pastor Lee, I got involved in this particular situation because I was called when Devon was murdered. Community members reached out because of just the presence of being in community. I've been here for 10 years and have been extremely active in the life of community here in Colorado Springs. And so people reached out and were just looking for someone to hear and someone to advocate and someone to address what was happening, the pain. And so I've been here, I want to say, very early on, and again, not ever going anywhere, because this is what matters most to me, wherever and whatever position that I occupy. Those of us who are pushed aside and cast aside the most matters to me the most.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Vince Niski. I'm the chief of the Colorado Springs Police Department. I've been a citizen here in Colorado Springs for almost 50 years. I've been with the police department for about 31 years. I'm here tonight to hopefully hear some of the concerns of the community about the police department and oversight of the police department. Hear those concerns, and I was glad to hear Pastor Lee talk about options. I'm really interested to hear options about how the police department can get more information out to the community quicker when we do have an officer-involved shooting. But it is about multiple options, not just one option, and that's why I'm here. So thank you.
Hello. For real though. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Kevin Mitchell. I have the honor of being the co-chair of the local branch of NAACP's Criminal Justice and Legal Redress Committee. But aside from titles, I'm here because I'm a black male and I'm a community member, and I have those concerns that any one of us could be Devon Day. It is an epidemic all over America, and it is here. And a fear for not just my life, my daughter's life, my little brothers up here, their lives, their kids' lives. That's what brings me here, to really find a solution, and also have a dialogue that is not watered down, that hard truths are spoken. We can be civil and still speak hard truths, but they need to be addressed. And we're not here to be friends maybe immediately, but we are here to find solutions. Friendships come from trust. And once trust is built, then we can go beyond that. But on the real, just to stop this epidemic of murdering the black people in the streets.
And what we'll do is, Gia, I'm gonna save you. Just give me a second.
No worries.
So at this point, we're going to have the Colorado College students come up and make their presentation, and then after that, Gia, you'll introduce who you are and where you're from.